This best-of-3 series will advance to take on the winner of Casa de Zaragoza and surprise package Lietkabelis. I don't know how Iberostar Tenerife would feel about going up against Zaragoza. Zaragoza ahead of them in the standings in the Spanish league. But right now their focus is on this Filou Oostende team that, despite some upheaval and despite some changes, they will be dangerous opposition. Also, you see Casa de Zaragoza, they'll play tomorrow against Lietkabelis. So the winner of these two series will go on to face each other. And really what a joy it's been to watch all four of those teams this season. In seasons past, always plenty of talking points. And I think, you know what, Filou Oostende have nothing to lose coming into this series. I think a lot of people, myself included, didn't know if they would have enough to even make it to the playoffs. So to make it this far, it's already quite an accomplishment. And here they are now hoping to upset the apple cart, so to speak. So, Evander versus De Vries, the young 18-year-old, getting a lot of attention recently at point guard. Jean-Marc Nwema has been in form recently as well. Dusan Djordjevic, Mikhail McIntosh Amarcila, the youngster who has been terrific for this team at times. He certainly comes up with his share of highlight reel plays for Coach Dario Georgia. And they will be going up against, I would suggest, a veteran Iberostar Tenerife team. Maybe a whole new cast of players than what was here last year, but a team of veterans. Gabriel Lundberg, fresh off helping Denmark in the Eurobasket 2021 qualifiers. New signing, Dino Radoncic, Marcelinho Huertas, needs no introduction, Sasu Salin, Danny Diaz, all the way down to the bottom. For Coach Chus Vilareta, it's going to be a huge ask for Filou Oostende to win in this series, to get a win in this series, because this is an Iberostar Tenerife team that, don't forget, has already won the FIBA Intercontinental Cup this season. So they beat last year's Basketball Champions League winners, Virtus Bologna, in the final. In fact, that was the team that beat them in the Basketball Champions League final last year, although obviously a lot of changes on the rosters. But it was a sweet, sweet victory for everybody at Iberostar Tenerife, as they already claimed a trophy. And it is a team, it's a club that's moving from strength to strength. And Chus Vilareta has been there for really, you'd have to say, most of the good times, leading them to the final in year one, leading them to the title rather in year one, leading to the final last year, and of course leading him this season, wanting a lot of changes in the roster. He got him, and he's brought in a lot of quality. You saw Huertas, you saw Sasu Salin, who had an outstanding Eurobasket qualifier. You saw Danny Diaz, who was terrific in that game at Romania for Spain. Giorgio Chermidini had a terrific Eurobasket qualifiers. I mean, all of these guys, or the majority of them, have played or do play for their national teams. Georgios Bogris coming back to play for Iberostar Tenerife. He has been a welcome addition to this team. Laho Konate, the France international, is with this team this year. So make no mistake, Iberostar Tenerife, they are on a mission. They're on a mission to get at least as many as 2 trophies this season. And at some point, you would think they're going to even take a leap in the Spanish league. They are really easily, you'd say, right now entrenched as one of the top 8 teams, maybe even the top 6 teams in Spain. How far can they go in Spain? Well, the referees tonight, Ademir Zarapovic, Jintian Cici, and Martin Horzov from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Albania, and Bulgaria, respectively. That was Martin on the left. And good refereeing crew, and as befits, a round of 16 tie in the Basketball Champions League. So it's year 4 in this competition, and Filou Oostende, well, Loïc Schwartz, the Belgium international, along with fellow Belgian Jean-Marc Nwema, who was terrific during the qualifiers that we just had, Yannick Deseron, Djordjevic, and Amarcila in that starting 5. And Amarcila, 7.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, 1.2 blocks, and you'd probably say, even in that warm-up there, you know, averaging 2.9 highlight reel plays per game. Oostende coach Dario Georgia, also the Belgium national team coach. And he's been coaching in Belgium for quite some time, and quite frankly was a natural successor to Eddie Casteels as the Belgian national team coach. Huertas coming off a double-digit assist game in the ACB over the weekend against Juventus. Sassu Saline, Danny Diaz, Shermidini, and Aaron White in the starting five for Iberostar Tenerife. And there's Chus Vidareta, easily one of the best coaches in Spain. Obviously, used to help out as with the national team as the assistant to Sergio Scariolo. There's Marcelino Huertas, averaging 11.8 points, 8.8 assists, and 1.2 steals per game. But always capable of going out and just having a huge game, whether it's in scoring, whether it's in assists. A truly a legend, really. I mean, you have to say already. Chus Vidareta, again, the head coach. Very smart, I think. Not so much into the players that he waved goodbye to from last year's team, but in the players that he brought. Shermidini has been exactly what he wanted as his pivot, and the man pulling the strings, the conductor of the orchestra. Marcelino Huertas has been everything he expected and more. And at the end of the day, you're only as good as your record, and you're only as good as far as you advance in these things. And they've already finished the regular season. Now it's a new season. It's the postseason. And really, Iberostar Tenerife will be judged not on what has happened already, but what is about to happen now at the business end of this competition. So, Filou Oostende, hopes are high again that they could come in and perhaps spring an upset. I'm sure that Dario Georgia has come up with a plan that will, if his team can execute, maybe it revolves around controlling tempo, maybe it revolves around keeping the ball out of Huertas' hands, whatever. I'm sure he's come up with some type of plan that if his team can execute, it'll shorten the game and give his team a chance to get a big win in this series. But it's easier said than done, because even if they come out and play at 100%, do everything their coach asks, it's a tall order to put the clamps or to control things against Iberostar Tenerife. So we are just shortly away from the start here in this first round of 16 game. Of course, another game underway. And at last check, it was Air Basketball Nymburk well on top of Bandirma. Yeah, they are 89-67 late in the fourth quarter. So that tie pretty much going according to plan. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Tenerife. What a wonderful, wonderful place this is. One of the Canary Islands. This is the Basketball Champions League. And you have to say the Canary Islands, one of the homes of the Basketball Champions League as well. They have had so many big games here, so many memorable moments. And they're taking on here in the round of 16, Filou Oostende in the red, and already foul called. Guarding Giorgio Shermidini, and not what the doctor ordered, certainly. As Zeron picks up his first foul, of course. Devon Thompson injured and out, so that's a big absence for them. And the dump down low, and Shermadini scores right at the beginning. And it's hard to see how anybody without a double team is going to have any chance against Shermadini, because even with double teams, he tends to have his own way. And Wema, who was terrific in that game against Lithuania the other night in the Eurobasket qualifiers, makes the bounce pass. Deseron goes up and scores with a left hand. How about that? Pressed in the starting lineup following Thompson's departure, and here he is answering the call. But again, Shermadini and Deseron signaling that he was hooked a little bit. It is not easy covering Shermadini at the best of times. Here is, or even when he's at his worst of times. And Wemo steps back, puts it up. And Deseron battles, and the ball will stay at this end. Djordjevic, the dump, and a foul called. So Aaron White trying to defend on Silla, the teenager. A lot of experience, a lot of difference in experience there. Aaron White, of course, in the game several years longer. Of course, he played the college game in America, and here he is now in the pros. Started this season with Milan. Here's Silla with a spin move. I told you about the highlight reels. Here he is getting the offensive rebound. Now Djordjevic. And Diaz, who I have to say was absolutely phenomenal for Spain during the European qualifiers in that game at Romania, picks up the foul on Deseron. And the ball taken away by Shermadini. And now he gets it back, hands it off, pass outside to Saline for three. Sassoon Saline. Well, that's what his reputation is, hitting the big shot. Now Djordjevic, Loic Schwartz answers. Now that was a big three for him. Diaz puts down low to Shermadini. Shermadini goes up and misses. Silla with the rebound. Now Djordjevic, ball rattles out. Deseron rebounds it, gets it back into Schwartz. Over to Djordjevic. Silla, the left-hander, misses everything. Saline. Again, this one stays out for Saline. It rattled out. Out to Silla. Count it! And Oostende take the lead with the three-pointer. Huertas pulls up and gets it to go. Djordjevic over to Silla again. He's hit one. Will it be two? Not this time, off the back of the iron. Shermadini with the rebound. And how about that for Shermadini? Deseron hands it off to Djordjevic. And Wayman bounce pass. Deseron goes up with the left hand. And a foul called. Catches the ball that close to the basket. He's not going to be stopped, really. Shermadini. Deseron. His certainly looked good here at the start for Oostende. By the way, Nymburk have won that game against Banderma 92-70. And the second one is good as well. So promising start here for Oostende. Huertas going behind his back, puts in the paint, tries to get it back to Shermadini, and Oostende were ready. 5 minutes into the quarter, and they get it to Deseron, who goes up for the dunk. Six points already. Foul called. I think Deseron, 27 years of age. Now Bogeris is coming into the game for Shermadini. Well, Bogeris said he was just utterly fantastic in his previous season for Iberostar Tenerife, and I think probably the club and he were excited when he came back. There's Saline going baseline, banking it in with a reverse layup. Points for Sasu Saline. Djordjevic thought about getting it to Mwema, now to Deseron. Schwartz going behind his back, gets in the paint, puts it up with the left hand. He's looked tough, hasn't he? Schwartz just saying, just give me some minutes, coach, I can produce. A foul has been called.
So over at the commissioner's table discussing things. Zarapovic, referee. Well, these Iberostar Tenerife fans have been absolutely spoiled the last few years. It has been a magical ride for them as they have watched this club continually come up, play well against some of the really big teams in Spain, but also do so well in this Basketball Champions League. And really, I can't speak highly enough of the island. If you want to come and visit, this is the place to come. If you can make it to Tenerife, get up to Mount Tede, highest point in Spain. Huertas strokes it wide open. Somebody forgot about the scout on that one. Huertas has been shooting the ball well. Silla gets it to Schwartz. By Saline. He's back. Djordjevic now over to Mwema. He can leap. No, he tries to pass into the paint. Huertas with a pass over to Saline. He pulls up. He shoots, and it's good. Sasu Saline. What are the possibilities for Iberostar Tenerife? Remember,
Big favorites in this tie, and you would think that their next opponents would be Casademont Zaragoza, who take on Leah Cabalas. There's Silla, he gets it, and was there for the dunk. He missed it, but he gets the ball back and puts it up and in. Might even call that a highlight reel play. Huertas probing. And the pass almost picked off. Huertas gets it back. He's open. He puts it up. And another one. He's shooting it like it's a free throw, folks. I mean, he's wide open. His feet are set. And Huertas is just playing arguably at the highest level of his career, although he's had some really good years at Barcelona, Baskonia. Of course, he played with the Lakers. Oostende get it down low again, and the foul has been called. Another one sends Silla to the line. Konate comes into the game. So Alex Lopez has entered the contest as well. Effectively, Coach Figueroa now has a couple of point guards in the lineup. I'd like to hear what Deacon Lloyd has to say about that. Great columnist for the Champions League Basketball. What's he trying to do in this situation? Iberostar Tenerife with two playmakers. Silla, the free throws, keeping Oostende within striking distance. Well, they may have lost Angola recently, but what they did was get Troy Copain, who played with Unet Haloni, has just checked into the game. Copain. Aaron White with the pump fake. He's fouled by Silla.
Personal foul.
So takes a seat. And now into the game, Mikhail McIntosh. All passed around, putting it up. Konate misses. There for the rebound is Bogris. Bogris just earns a living on that type of play there. He's either boxing somebody out or he's going for the rebound. Alex Suarez also in the game now for Iberostar Tenerife, number 93, and then Mwema this time called for the travel. Really, that's unfortunate because that's probably an area where they're going to have some success with Mwema driving to the basket. At least a chance to have some success. Fontaine has come into the game for Mwema. Now Huertas again. He's just automatic, folks. He doesn't miss. He just makes it look so easy, so routine, like he's in practice. That's exactly what his teammates are saying. 5 of 5 from the floor now and 12 points. And we're in the final minute of the first quarter. 3-point shot off target for Oostende. That was Fontaine, Olivier Fontaine. Huertas again. How much? Oh, he's feeling it. He's feeling it. No, off the front of the iron. McIntosh rebounds and hands it off to Louis Schwartz. Now gives it back to McIntosh. McIntosh, oh, reverses and gets inside, and he dunks it with the left hand. Boy, what a sweet drive that was by McIntosh. And Oostende had a foul to give, no problem there. Good play by them to stop Iberostar Tenerife from breaking. So it was Alex Lopez that was fouled, and it's Schwartz with the foul. And really with Oostende tonight, I mean, they're down 6 points, but, you know, the task really is so immense that it feels like they just have come out loose. They know that they've got nothing to lose. They're going to come out. And for that reason, you haven't seen their coach have to call any timeouts. Here's Huertas. And that patented shot from Huertas where it goes off 1 foot. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What can we say about Huertas that we haven't said already? He's a veteran, and this is his shot. He's done this throughout his career, goes off 1 foot. And if you don't get a hand in his face, you don't guard him closely, he's going to kill you, and that's what he's doing right now. It's Iberostar Tenerife up 29-20 at the end of 1. Well, 7 of 9 inside the arc, 5 of 7 from deep, and with that shot now, they have gone further ahead, Iberostar Tenerife.
Protect this bounce, man. Okay? He's trying to shoot big things to contest. We need to evolve for a rebound. Pass out, close out.
Well, that was almost too easy for Marcelinho Huertas. I mean, on the one hand, you could say that first quarter just shows why he is one of the front runners for the MVP award in the Basketball Champions League. But on the other hand, you have to say he was getting a lot of open looks. And Oostende clearly not doing what they're supposed to be doing, but Schwartz nevertheless goes in and scores and gets it back to a 7-point deficit. And the best news for Oostende is that Marcelinho Huertas, the Brazil international, the starting point guard for the national team, has taken a seat. Terminini back in. He gets it down low. He misses. Schwartz with the rebound. Now driving in and laying it up. Oh, missing was McIntosh. He's got to make that shot. He's got to make that for Oostende. Now the drive. And the foul, and you can see McIntosh upset with himself. It's an interesting debate or MVP race when you think about it as Terminini goes to the line. And folks, I have to tell you have to go to the Champions League.basketball website or load the Champions League app in your smartphone, and I'll tell you why. Van der Verst, the young 18-year-old point guard, now checking in, the Netherlands international. Shermadini. You have to log that into your phone, or you have to go to the Champions League.basketball website and look at all the great features that they have, and among them is a round of 16 preview, video preview, and there's a wonderful video that looks at all of the matchups, but also goes into great detail with Keith Langford, one of the MVP candidates, about some of his signature moves, and also to Robin Bensing from Casa de Zaragoza about his three-point shooting. And now forcing another turnover, and this time Copain turns it over. Kind of like a tough call to me. Granted, on the other hand, Lopez looked like he was in pretty good position defensively. Shermadini gets into the paint, and Copain with the rebound. Van der Verst turns it over, and Lopez goes in and dunks it. And that simply cannot happen. I mean, I know he's, oh, excuse me, that was Lundberg for the dunk, the steal and the dunk. That turnover can't happen from your point guard. Timeout Oostende. See the numbers, much better for the home team. And the turnovers, 5 already for Oostende, just 1 for Tenerife. And those turnovers are killing Oostende. Lundberg with that steal and the dunk. And again, you know what? Don't beat yourselves. And I'm sure that's what Coach George is thinking right now. If we play at our best, then okay, we've got a chance. But if we turn the ball over that easily, we've got no chance. Driving, denied, and Iberostar Tenerife now come the other way. From the corner, good! Suarez strokes his first three-pointer, and now Tenerife is starting to turn it up a notch. They're up 14 points. Fontaine looking for the foul. Now they're fighting for possession, and I don't think they're going to get it. And that was a good call by the ref. I know they are going to give it. You can understand why they might have given it. It looked like he hit the ball off. Yeah, they have given it to Tenerife. It looked like he hit the ball off of Fontaine, and it went out of bounds through his legs. 14-point lead, 7.5 minutes remaining. So Lopez has it. And another easy one down low. Lopez takes it up to a 16-point lead, his first bucket. Copain. Over to McIntosh. Passes back outside. Fontaine for three. It's good. That's what he can do. That's why he's out there, amongst other things, to play defense. Now Shermadini goes to work in the paint, hands it off. And somehow Oostende avoid the giving up the two, but then Fontaine gets blocked at the other end. And now the ball starts bouncing around, a little bit helter-skelter, and Oostende get it back. So that was Shermadini with the block. Thought it might have been Konate. Now driving in, oh, nice sweet take by Copain. Copain, there's Gain. There he is, his first two. Three-point attempt, and a little bit long. Battle for the rebound. And it's going to be Oostende possession. So they called the turnover on Konate after the offensive rebound, but then he fouled McIntosh, who was alertly reaching in and taking it away. So Oostende can get a basket here or get it back to a single-digit deficit, and it's so important. Well, certainly from a fan standpoint, when you're watching, if you get it down to single digits, you feel so much better about your team's chances. McIntosh. And wow, nice impressive finish there from Boychart. Now the turnover. Copain thought about passing ahead. Now he dribbles. Goes past midcourt. Van der Vries. Well, that was the right shot to take. He just couldn't get it to drop. Past the midpoint here of the second quarter. Konate from the right corner. Van der Vries with the rebound. Van der Vries from the baseline misses again, tries to follow it up. Ball goes out of bounds. I think it's got to be the aspect of his game. It's got to be automatic when he gets those looks. You've seen how Huertas can make shots when he's open, and I tell you what, if you're a basketball player, you really help your case for playing time if you can knock in those open jumpers. Time out on the floor. Let's go down to the huddle of Iberostar Tenerife.
5 para Georgios, 4 para Dani. 4 para Dani. Vamos con Ife y Sasu todavía a esta. Si meten ellos grandes ya haremos cambios. Ife y Sasu no defendiendo. Ya vemos ahí a funcionar aquí, animarse de uno. Hey, cogemos 15 puntos y hacemos errores.
9 points from the bench for each team.
2 turnovers in a row or more or less. Now these 3, after that in the paint. Okay. Hey, the question, we have the distance. Take care, okay?
Well, biggest lead of the game has been 16 points for Iberostar Tenerife. Right now they are up 38-29. So Filou Oostende, you feel like they've done well to get it back to single digits. And Boychart there with that last basket. You cut down on the turnovers and you really help your case, because that is the difference in the game right now. 15 points off turnovers for Iberostar Tenerife, just 6 for Filou Oostende. 4:19 remaining in the first half as Konate takes a seat. 5 now on the floor is for Iberostar Tenerife is Bogres, Diaz, Huertas, Lumberg, and Sasu Salin. Here's Huertas, bounce pass to Bogres. He's open. He says, "Why not?" And Fontaine not able to pick the basketball up, and that is well, that is tough right there. If you're Oostende, you've got to get those rebounds. Fontaine knows the inability to get the rebound has put his team on the back foot here, and he's a little bit aggrieved to get the foul called. That was his first. Zarapovic and Federetta clearly disagreeing on what a foul is and what it's not. Bogres gets it back to Huertas. Salin steps over to his right. It's good. Oh, they just are right now just so comfortable. And when Iberostar Tenerife are in this type of shooting form, it's awfully difficult to beat them. Salin himself 3 of 4, and they're 7 of 11 as a team. Huertas also 3 of 4. And nice finish by Boychart. Some good play by him, and you know what? It's not necessarily a bad matchup with him and Bogres. Look at this. Bogres clearly has a lot more experience, but I don't think he has the type of athleticism that is going to bother the Belgian. And now the offensive rebound off the missed free throw. And another opportunity, could be even a better trip down. McIntosh launches it, and the ball almost goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Iberostar Tenerife basketball. Huertas is bumped by Van der Vries. So Van der Vries is 18 years of age, and he's guarding Huertas, who's 36. That is remarkable, isn't it? I mean, that's... When Huertas was Van der Vries' age, Van der Vries was not even a twinkle in his mother's eye. Incredible. Really, Huertas looks like he could play for another 10 years at this rate. Salin launches it! His 4th three-pointer of the game. 2:43 remaining in the first half. And another timeout called by Oostende. Tell you what, they definitely have their work cut out for them. Georgia just wants to keep this thing as close as possible by halftime. See the numbers, 8 three-pointers have been made by Iberostar Tenerife.
Right now, because they have the 3 guys. Go with the heads. Hey, Shaman, great shot. No post catch option, okay? You don't have nothing. Dushan wide. Here, Joe, here, use spread. Pick open lines and roll.
Salin is on target. And you might say, well, they're going to cool off in the second half, but the problem really that Filou Oostende have is they're not guarding him. I mean, they're not getting a hand in the face. They're getting some open looks. And really at this level, you would expect a team to make open looks all night long. Especially players like Salin and Huertas, who have been the players that have really done the damage tonight from three-point range. Djordjevic, Boychart. And once again, he is fouled, this time by Guerra, who's checked into the game, Fran Guerra. So, you know, plenty of things to like, really, about Oostende's cast of characters that have come in tonight. Deseron did a good job in that low post early on. And now Boychart's come in and done great. Here he is catching the inbounds pass. Djordjevic probing, goes down, and now a bump, and a foul has been called on Sasu Salin. And that's a great call by the ref. I mean, he was trying to get around the pick. I think there was a little bit too much contact. Now, whether Djordjevic knew there was contact and made it easier for him to go down, or whether the contact knocked him down, that might be up for debate, but you can't blame the referee for making that call. Here's Djordjevic. Back outside to Nwema. Goes hard to the basket, pump fake. And nice little shifty move there from Jean-Marc Nwema. Salin, another one, this time short. Djordjevic, saw the fans from Oostende coming down. I'm sure they've made a trip to the beach while they've been here. Why wouldn't you? Fontaine passes over to McIntosh. And again, it's down to single digits. And this is what Oostende do. They kind of fall behind by a seemingly large deficit, and then they kind of hang around and you don't realize it. And the next thing you know, they're only trailing by about 7 points. And McIntosh cuts into the passing lane, bounce pass, and throws it right into the hands of Tenerife. So missed opportunity there for McIntosh. And Djordjevic now called for a foul. Now Deseron is going to come back into the game. Good minutes for Boychart. I remember talking to one of Georgia's former players. I'll tell you who it is. Here's the dump and the miss. In fact, he actually played here at Iberostar Tenerife as well. McIntosh takes it back out. .435. The foul has been called. So I remember talking to Pierre-Antoine Gillet, who used to play for Oostende and played here for Iberostar Tenerife last season, and talked about the turning point in his career. And he said it was when he went to Croatia with his coach Đurđa and spent several weeks there training with him. And really, Đurđa gave freely of his time, really helped him develop. And the commitment from both sides really helped him take a step up in his career. And you can see that's the type of thing that might help a player like Boychart. Changes here with 28.7 seconds to go in this first half. Greta comes out of the game. And almost coming up with a steal, Salin. So 11-point Tenerife lead. Oostende, you would think, would want to take it down as far as they can. Djordjevic calls the play. Set over to Copain. And Wema. Bounce pass back to Copain. The ball was kicked. So now Oostende can take it all the way down to the end if they like. As they reset. Well, they'll turn off the shot clock. And there'll be 9 seconds left. Alex Lopez comes back into the game for Danny Diaz. Keep an eye on Diaz. I really think it seems to be on the verge of taking his game to new heights. McIntosh taking the shot clock down and gets inside, puts it up. Oh, what a finish right at the end of the half. I know apparently Iberostar Tenerife have been able to call a timeout with about a second remaining. Referees might go over and look and see how much time is left when McIntosh, when the ball fell through the hoop.
Hey, si se la llega a jugar por línea de fondo no digo nada, pero la juega a izquierda. Yeah. Play left.
It's amazing right there, but not surprising considering how many threes Iberostar Tenerife have had tonight.
Cambia Alex. Arce. Aquí hacemos una distracción, ¿vale? Balón aquí. Y Gio.
So Tenerife, 24 of their points coming from three-point range tonight. 8 of 13. And I like Chus Vidareta. You know, his team is up by 9 points, but he realizes that, you know, this is a dangerous game, but also that if Iberostar Tenerife are really going to reach the heights this season that he envisions for them, they have got to be more ruthless, and their execution has to be better. So, you got to play. They throw it all the way down the court. He gets it. He throws it up. Unbelievable. Well, that will put Vidareta, give him a smile going to halftime, and that will certainly upset Georgia. 48-37. Iberostar Tenerife lead it at halftime. Eight threes for Iberostar Tenerife, just 3 for Oostende. However, Oostende 12 of 19 inside the arc. Oostende actually out rebounding Tenerife. The 9 assists and the 6 steals for Tenerife. Huertas with 15 points in the first quarter. Saline has 14, Shermadini 10, including that last 2, and that will really, well, not make Coach Georgia happy. To give up that easy, well, not easy, but that late basket right at the end. And you almost wonder if the ref would go and look and see if he actually got the shot off in time. But give the assist to Huertas. It's not been that kind of night for him. 3 assists. Usually he has a half dozen or more. But as you look at the highlights, you'll see that this Iberostar Tenerife have hit their share of 3-pointers, 8 in all. And they lead it 48-37 at halftime. Would Oostende have settled for this scoreline before the game? Well, they'd like to maybe be a little bit closer and try to surprise them in the second half, but that's what it is. It's an 11-point lead for Iberostar Tenerife. And remember, if they win this series, this best-of-3 series, they will advance to face the winner of Liet Cabalus against Casademont Zaragoza, who are also playing in the round of 16. So it's at halftime. It's Iberostar Tenerife leading it 48-37. We'll be right back.
Lila, little crossover, little step back. Oh, wonderful handle by the big man, my goodness. Oh, wonderful pass and a wonderful finish. What a big, big play by Masoulas. Foster now hands it off. Oh, what a rejection by Johnson.
Misses the first, and they need to foul. They get it back for the three. Oh, it's good. The three is good. Marco Filippovi. That's why he was in the game. Zoltan Paul to make the two. Filippovi has made the three. What a game. What drama.
Left hand with a crushing dunk all over Hapoel Jerusalem. Throwdown off the alley-oop for Chris Dow. He is starting to really have a positive impact for this team.
And what a tough catch by Martin, then he puts it up! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, he's made it! Was it Stone in the end?
Oh, what a block. 3 on 2, 4 on 2, and they pull it out.
Over to Saunders, he puts it up, he had a lot of time left. Ah, he hits the three! Can you believe it? Unbelievable! There will be no overtime!
Back to Lund. Oh my lord! I mean, he stares it down. You remember the name. It is Abdullah Lund.
Iberostar Tenerife on top, 48-37 here against Filou Oostende, playing at home. Perhaps some might think they should be even further ahead in the game, but Oostende have done a great job of keeping this thing relatively close, or at least staying within striking distance. They actually pulled to within 9 right there at the end, only to give up 2 points. When Marcelino Huertas flung the ball all the way down the court to Shermadini, who was able to score right before the buzzer.
No, eso luego vamos a meter lo que ya sabemos, las que sabemos hacer, no buscar cosas nuevas, ¿vale?
Okay. And you roll deep immediately, okay? Listen, guys. Listen, hey, let's go. Let's be tough. 1, 2, 3.
So Huertas with 15 first quarter points, 15 points overall, 14 for Sasu Salin. Shermadini has 10 points to lead the way for Iberostar Tenerife. Santa Yusta, of course, lost, I think, for the rest of the season, getting injured during the Eurobasket qualifiers break. Playing for Spain, he was red hot as well, so that's a real loss for this Iberostar Tenerife team. 7 points apiece for Luke Schwartz and Amar Sila. 6 points for Yannick Deseron. And that is 6 points also for Mikhail McIntosh. So second half underway here. Iberostar Tenerife with possession. And Salin launches the first off the back of the cup. Schwartz brings it across midcourt. Oostende. And Wema drills the three. He has found that shooting stroke, folks. He really has. He looked good the other night against Lithuania. And missed that one, but now Iberostar Tenerife come out and hit the two. You can understand why Wema wants to look for that shot whenever he can. He was wide open as well. White with the dunk. Another assist for Huertas, and Deseron looked like he might have lost it. Stuck with it, puts it up and in. Pass it around, Huertas again. Salin. Ball back outside to Huertas. White. And shot clock violation. Huertas just picks up those assists left, right, and center. Schwartz on the deck. Holds his right elbow. Should be okay, he hopes, any way to shoot it. Schwartz gets it back to 2. Fouled. Good aggressive play by Schwartz, rewarded with the 2 free throws, and back to a 9-point deficit. And now an offensive foul. foul was on Huertas. Djordjevic dumps it off. Desirant continues to impress. 10 points. Well, if that play is there, you got to run it. And Desirant showing that he can bring something to the team. Bogus drives in, and the foul was called. So Bogus was fouled, and the basket will not count. Fouls on Silas' third. Huertas dancing around. Well, Huertas has the ball in his hands, and it's not going to be easy to stop him or Tenerife. He's now got 17 points. Schwartz outside to Djordjevic. He's open. Tickles the twine. 3-point range. And back to a 6-point game. You know what they say when it comes to an underdog, the closer they are, as the shorter the game becomes, you know, it becomes a game. So they're shortening the game. They're down 6. Here's Djordjevic again, and this time off the front of the iron. Huertas, alley-oop. And boy, Huertas just weaving his magic. Yes, with the beneficiary that time. Five assists for Huertas. Another foul called. Salin and Bogus go out. And Lopez and Shermanini come back in. Djordjevic probing. His team down by 8. It's inside, bounce pass. And Desirant continues to deliver. He's got 12 points. Look at that, perfect. 5 of 5. He's not hurting him when he gets the ball in his hands. He is doing the business tonight. Completely different player, obviously, to Siobhan Thompson. And Huertas takes the jumper and is fouled. So 2 free throws coming for the Brazil international. So the foul clearly on Nwema. That's his first, and Huertas goes to the line as a chance to go to 19 points. What he's got. 4-4 at the line. He's been fouled 5 times. And Iberostar Tenerife comfortably ahead right now. Nwema gets it over to Djordjevic. A little runner, puts it up and in. Not been a bad quarter offensively for Oostende either, as they cut it back to a 6-point deficit. Outscored Iberostar Tenerife 13-8 in this frame. 3-pointer. Silla with the rebound over to Djordjevic. Takes it back to in the middle of the court. Oostende over to Silla. Gets in the paint, puts it up. And rebounded by Diaz. Good defense in Weymouth, stepping in front, sealing off the baseline. Here's Huertas. And that is a shot that he's comfortable taking, but perhaps asking a little bit much of him there. Silla catches it, back to Djordjevic. Over to Weymouth, passes up to three, drives in. Good offensive rebound. Djordjevic open, so says why not? And then the follow, and he was there, but not able to put it in was Loic Schwartz. Missed opportunity there for Oostende on the putback. Now Huertas again, this time misses, showing he's human the last two trips down the floor. Djordjevic looks up the floor. Now cuts in, drives in. And look at that, the Belgian fans that have made the trip, their team only down by 4 points. And really, it's exactly as they might have cast this game, how they wanted it to go. Foul called on Oostende. Just kind of hang around. Don't let Iberostar Tenerife just blow the game wide open. Just kind of don't, just stay within striking distance. It's almost like they don't want Iberostar Tenerife to know that they're close. They're just kind of hanging around and they're waiting for their moment to strike. Bounce pass, and the dunk by Shermadini. Now 6 assists for Marcelino Huertas, 12 points now for Shermadini. Schwartz takes it in, brings it back out. Deseron has it knocked away. Huertas with 2.5 minutes remaining, and Tenerife up by 6 points. Get the feeling the crowd here in Tenerife hoping that this the Canary Islanders can blow this thing open. Shermadini would have liked his chances from that spot. But good defense by Oostende. Schwartz thinks about it, pulls up, and on target. So Schwartz follows and commits the foul. Huertas goes up, and alley-oop pass to Shermadini. Shermadini says, no, they can't stop me. They're not going to stop me. Georgia calls timeout. Talking about the pick and roll, perhaps, over there, how to defend that. Let's go down to the huddle and listen.
Prolonged offense, we are executing turnover. This is what they want, that we execute turnover. Listen to me now. You will call wrong side. But what we will do in there? Mike, hand off. Please, very light, this is great. Go, big for front here. Come on, big, close, big in front. Okay, they don't get right. Go, go, go.
Well, Deseron with 12 points leads the scoring for Filou Oostende. And when you consider that his season high before this was 8 points against Torun, well, it's been a pretty darn good performance for him. He shot 57.6% from the floor during the regular season. He averaged 12.9 minutes per game. So he is definitely pushing it to the limit tonight in the Basketball Champions League. Already tonight has played 20.5 minutes. You know what? You're given the opportunity, you make the most of it. That's exactly what he's done. And the dump, and there he goes again. 14 points. Time to sit up and take notice. Give him a high five. He's got 14. 6 of 6 from the floor. Yannick Deseron. And they get it in the paint. Shermadini puts it up and in. Again, when he gets it that low to the basket, I'm not sure anybody's going to stop him. 16 points for Shermadini. McIntosh puts it up. Follows up the shot and puts it up. A good effort there by McIntosh. Copain. Sharks coming back in, so it was Copain actually that missed it, not McIntosh. Apologies. Final 40 seconds here in the third quarter. Iberostar Tenerife not home and dry yet. They're only up 6 points. Oostende kind of hanging around. Shermadini. Now fouled by Boyschert. So 2 free throws coming for Shermadini after the foul. That's a frustrating one for Oostende. And Shermadini, the Georgia international, makes the first. Takes it back up to an 8-point advantage. If Oostende can take it down to about 7 seconds on the shot clock. Copain has it. Back outside to McIntosh. And a foul called on Danny Diaz. Iberostar Tenerife had one to give. White comes back into the game. Been relatively quiet for White. Although we did have that alley-oop slam. Diaz goes out with his second foul. Now final 10 seconds of the third quarter. Nguema, and he is fouled, so free throws coming for Nguema after the foul by Konate. Fontaine comes back in. And Nguema takes advantage, makes the first. Makes the second as well. With 6-point deficit facing his team. He doesn't want to give up another late basket here at the end of the quarter. Push it. Final seconds ticking off the clock. Puts it up and blocked. So all things considered, Filou Oostende have to be ecstatic. They win that quarter. They trail 64-58 at the end of 3. No threes for Tenerife in that quarter. And 58% shooting inside the arc for Oostende. Might we have a surprise here in the 4th quarter? Well, the one thing you have to say about Iberostar Tenerife is they have not been ruthless. They have not stamped on the throat of Filou Oostende. They've allowed them to bring it to the 4th quarter, and now really anything can happen. I would be awfully surprised if Iberostar Tenerife did not come out and really tried to maybe even think about doing some full court pressure and really try to get on top of this Oostende team. Because you get the feeling right now it's anybody's game.
El aplauso fuerte para nuestro grupo de animación Arena Playa de las Américas. Gracias, chicas, chicos. Vamos, que entramos en los 10 últimos minutos de partido. Vamos, venga, necesitamos a todo el pabellón, vamos. Necesitamos a todos los aficionados albineros. Vamos, esas niñas han venido al frente de los podios. Buscamos la victoria. Venga, vamos a defender, todo el pabellón defiende.
Fourth quarter underway here in the Canary Islands. Iberostar Tenerife leading about 6 points. And been driving and the shot blocked. Right now on the floor is Boychart, Copain, McIntosh, and Wayman, and Fontaine for Oostende. Alex Lopez, Lundberg, Saline, Shermadini, and White. They are on the court for Tenerife. Fontaine fouls Sasu Saline. Excuse me, that was Boychart that was called for the foul. And Shermadini turns it right back over. He gives a long look over at the referee who called the traveling. Boy, Boychart and Deseron have been revelations tonight for how well they've played. That time now, Iberostar Tenerife bring it up the floor. Wayman picks up the foul. Lopez goes over to the bench. Saline into the corner it goes. Another miss. Well, inside 9 minutes now, and Iberostar Tenerife not looking quite as convincing as we might have expected the way they played in that first quarter. Fontaine, the 30-year-old, hands it off. Beautiful basketball for Oostende, finished by Boychart. crowd. You feel it. They're starting to get a little nervous here in the Canary Islands. 6 points, perfect from the floor, 3 of 3 for Boychart. Now from the corner, and nice attempt, rattles out. Copain is to the middle, and a foul has been called. Good aggressive play for Copain and Oostende.
Primera falta personal Lumber, first personal foul. Lumber cambio, second pareje. Centra la línea del pista Pomeri.
Lumberg whistled for the personal. Copain takes his time. Remember, he's just signed after playing for Unet Holon. This is the first free throw. That was an issue for Holon during this Basketball Champions League campaign. And this is the second as well, so not a good time to miss free throws. And ball ends up with McIntosh. Execution not there offensively so far for Tenerife in this second half. McIntosh gets inside, puts it up, and we've got a 2-point game. Wow. 8 points for McIntosh. And the dump, and relief for Tenerife as Aaron White goes up after catching the pass by Bogris. Weymouth saves it from going out of bounds. Boychart going to town, goes up against Bogris. You got to applaud these more anonymous players of Oostende who are not afraid of the big moment. They are going after it. This is their time. They know it. I mean, how many times in your career are you going to be able to travel to the Canary Islands to take on Iberostar Tenerife, former champions in this competition, and get this close? But another missed free throw, and the missed free throw is starting to mount here. 8 of 12 now. Makes the second. 9 of 13. You have to say that's acceptable. 69%, 70%. Most coaches will live with that throughout the game, throughout the season. 3-point contest. Salim with a pump fake. He was not shooting, though, or at least it did not look like he was in the shooting motion. We'll see what the referee says. No way. Well, that is what you call biting on the pump fake. Well, they're going to look at it for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're looking at it to see if it was an unsportsmanlike. I mean, the only thing you could say, maybe it was overly physical, but absolutely no way, in my opinion, would they call that unsportsmanlike. You know what? The referees are closer to the action than I am. Well, you might have to feel bad for these guys, Oostende, in this situation, but I suppose the fact is he did really bite on the pump fake, so and he kind of clattered into Saline. So the first unsportsmanlike free throw is good, and the second, and it'll be possession for Iberostar Tenerife. But I do feel the pain of Coach Georgia, understanding why he would have thought that maybe that was not unsportsmanlike. Anyway, Saline with 16 points. Beautiful bounce pass. There they go again. A 4-point trip down the floor. Aaron White. He's got 7 points. The timeout on the floor. Let's go down to the huddle. Coming out of the timeout. And Oostende looking for some magic. Now the pass down low, and they get a good shot coming out of the timeout from Deseron, who has got 16 points. Unbelievable. I mean, talk about subplots. Who would have predicted Deseron coming out with 16 points tonight? She gets some high fives after this game. And Iberostar Tenerife missing from deep and looking to turn the screw and not able to. And now Aaron White commits a foul on the perimeter. Well, you can see unsportsmanlike foul went against him, and honestly, there, you know, he definitely got the ball. Might they go and have a look at it? And I think they will. So fair play to Georgia, you know, asking for the unsportsmanlike. He just got burned by one. Now he's going to look and see if Aaron White was indeed playing the ball. Did he get the ball? He did kind of clatter into him. Watch. Here he goes. I didn't think the other one was, and I don't think that one is. So not getting the rub of the green, Filou Oostende. Settle for the inbounds pass. White picks up his second foul. Copain. Djordjevic. Every possession, every time down the floor magnified this time of the game, especially when you're trailing by 6 points. Huertas gets it to the big fella, and the foul has been called on McIntosh. Well, you got to have Marcelino Huertas on the court right now with Shermerdini, because this is going to be tough to stop. Lopez comes back into the game. Sasu Saline goes out. Saline has scored 16 points. Will he sit down for the rest of the game? Doubtful. I'm guessing he'll come back in. And Shermanini takes his time and makes the first free throw. Iberostar Tenerife at the free throw line tonight have been perfect. Remember that. So teams that shoot 100% at the free throw line more times than not are going to win basketball games. And the lead goes back to 8. Djordjevic whips it to the wing, and the shot no good. And White the rebound. Marcelino over to the wing. And the three-pointer is good. So Lopez, you take Saline out, one of the best shooters in the Basketball Champions League, and you bring in Lopez and he drills it. Copain and Fontaine go out. Good minutes from them, but Loic Schwartz comes back into the game. And are they going to count it? They are indeed. They're going to count the basket. So three-point play opportunity here. The foul on Lopez. McIntosh takes his time, misses, and that is a big miss. Nine-point deficit facing Oostende. They've got to get some turnovers. They definitely have to get stops and rebounds. And they get the basketball back. Here they come. Djordjevic. McIntosh going up and scoring. Boy, that was a strong move. Well, McIntosh has played well tonight once again for Oostende. 3.5 minutes remaining. Anything can happen. And a foul has been called. Well, 3.5 minutes to go. Djordjevic. Was it Schwartz? I think it's going to be on Schwartz. Well, this is one of the talking points of the game, really. It's how well this team from Iberostar Tenerife has shot its free throws, but you can kind of see where they might be a little vulnerable moving forward. They finally missed it. I must have jinxed them. 13 of 14 at the stripe tonight as a team, and leading by 8 points. Iberostar Tenerife guarding Oostende. Can they get in a stop? Well, Djordjevic wide open, clangs it off the back of the rim, and Shermanini hands it off to Huertas. Surely they'll take a little bit of time. The dump. Diaz takes it and puts it up and in. McIntosh steps back. And Marcelino Huertas with another rebound. He's got 9 assists. He's got 19 points. He's got 5 rebounds. I don't think he's going to get a triple-double, but I'm sure he'd like to get another assist here, get a double-double. Here he is, hands it off. And there is, sticking with it, Shermerdini. So back to a 12-point lead for Iberostar Tenerife. It has been, you have to say, comfortable, while at the same time slightly uncomfortable for Iberostar Tenerife. As they head to the bench, and Oostende decides to talk about things here right at the end. They had to play almost perfect basketball tonight to get a win, and really they've done enough to keep it close, but I think they know they could have played a little bit better. This fourth quarter has not gone their way. They've had opportunities. Got it down to 2 points. Just haven't been able to get any closer.
Don't have nothing. Pass back, another play. Okay.
Shermerdini with 23 points, 19 for Huertas, including 15 in the first half. But Marcelino, while he was the scorer in the early going, he's turned into the provider here in the second half. He's got 9 assists to go with his 19 points. He's also got 6 rebounds. So really one of the more impressive stat lines of the Basketball Champions League campaign, 29 efficiency. Saw that right there. He leads his team in rebound. He has 5 boards.
Atrás, van a jugar más 1 contra 1. Stands. No están metiendo triples, están metiendo bandejas. They score layups, no threes. Okay, we don't want layups now.
Tenerife have not done a great job shooting the basketball from deep in the second half. They had 8 threes in the first half. Only 2 have fallen in the second. But you know what? If you're winning, it doesn't matter. And they are winning by double digits. 2:15 remaining in this fourth quarter. Santiago Martin Arena. Fans keeping the fingers crossed that this will be a win, and Djordjevic coolly goes in, lays it up and in. Gets you back to a 10-point game. 9 points for Djordjevic. Tenerife more than happy to take a little bit of time off the clock. Over it goes to the right, and from the wing, the miss. Schwartz with the rebound. Saline is indeed finishing things up here. Diaz, Huertas, Saline, Shermerdini, and Aaron White on the court for the Canary Islanders. And the jump ball possession arrow gets it to Iberostar Tenerife, who can really they get another basket. They take some time off the clock and get another basket. You'd think that'll do it. Saline. Shermerdini gets it off. Huertas back to Shermerdini. And Iberostar Tenerife looking like they're going to get that first victory tonight. 83-71, 1:10 remaining. Shermerdini goes to 25 points. Schwartz drills the long 2. Well, as good as Shermerdini has been this season, he's never been better, at least in terms of putting the ball in the basket. He goes out with a season high in the Basketball Champions League. 25 points as Fran Guerra checks back into the game. Djordjevic comes out. Copain comes back into the game. Lopez brings it up the floor as Iberostar Tenerife look to put the finishing touches on this one. Huertas, shot clock winding down, turns it over. And Schwartz goes in. Well, not been a bad game for Luis Schwartz. Schwartz goes to 13 points. And 21.5 seconds remain. So Iberostar Tenerife. You know, maybe we're not giving enough credit to Oostende tonight. They came in, they were relaxed, they were confident. They came out and they just had a good game tonight. Deseron especially leading this team, coming up with a season high for him with 16 points. Luis Schwartz has come out with more playing time tonight. He's got 13 points. McIntosh, usually pretty solid. He's got 12 points, 9 points for Djordjevic tonight. Boychart, 7 points. So you got 16 and 7, 23 points combined for Deseron and Boychart. And overall, Oostende have come out and given a good account of themselves tonight. Final seconds ticking off the clock here in the Canary Islands. And that should do it. So Iberostar Tenerife, well, they had some uncomfortable moments tonight, but they have prevailed 85-75 over Filou Oostende. They'll look to seal things, close things out with a win at Oostende in Game 2.
Y recordarles el próximo partido en casa, la Liga Inglesa Iberostar Tenerife Valencia Basket, domingo 22 de marzo a las 7 de la tarde. Les esperamos a todos.
Well, on a night when Aerobasketball Nymburk won convincingly at home over Bandirma, Iberostar Tenerife have also opened their account in the round of 16 with a win over Oostende. There was a lot of good, a lot of scoring from the usual cast of characters, from Shermadini, from Marcelinho, and also from Sasu Saline. And Iberostar Tenerife will walk off the court applauding their fans for coming out tonight and supporting the team. Here are the stats. Look at the free throws for Tenerife. That's a big stat, 15 of 16. And they shot the 40% from three-point range. Of course, 8 of those three-pointers in the first half, really kind of setting the tone. Oostende nevertheless came back. They got to within 2 points in the second half. They out-rebounded Tenerife. Deseron, Schwartz, Boychart, McIntosh, all doing their bit tonight for the team from Belgium. But it wasn't quite enough as they fall to Iberostar Tenerife. Well, as we look back at some of the highlights, and you'll see some good plays from both teams. Really tip your hat to Filou Oostende getting 26 points from the bench, and also that was 12 points more than Iberostar Tenerife's bench, and also 50 points in the paint compared to 38 for Iberostar Tenerife. But Iberostar Tenerife getting those 20 points off turnovers, whereas the visitors had just 12 points. Iberostar Tenerife led by as many as 16 points. They weren't able to slam the door shut, however. And you know what? Is that something that should worry the coach? Well, you know, the possibility. We'll see what happens with Casademont Zaragoza and Lit Cabalus, but you know, that potentially huge all-Spanish showdown awaits in the quarterfinals between Casademont Zaragoza and Iberostar Tenerife, two teams also that are close together in the Spanish standings. I think it's goes without saying that Oostende will be ready to play again, and you know, when these two teams meet for game 2, and it will be an exciting one. They will have gotten some confidence, I think, from this performance, and they probably will have learned something going up against Iberostar Tenerife tonight. You know, if I had any criticism, maybe they gave Marcelinho a little bit too much space to operate in that first half. He wasn't quite as destructive scoring-wise in the second half, but then again, you know, when he wasn't scoring, he was doing just as well as scoring. He was dishing and coming up with all sorts of assists. I mean, it's just been Marcelinho Huertas' year. I know a lot of people would be saying that Shermadini possibly is his team's MVP. I know a lot of other people would say that Marcelino Huertas, it's been his inspiration that's been most important for this team, but we'll let the voters decide ultimately. So 85-75 tomorrow night in the round of 16. Remember, the winner of this tie, or the winner of this series, faces the winner of Casademont Zaragoza and Lit Cabalus. Those two teams will be in action tomorrow night. So from the Santiago Martin Arena, it's been a good one, folks. Iberostar Tenerife win it 85-79 over Filou Oostende. Thanks for watching.